Here.
Ms. Oparka?
Here.
Ms. Torp?
Approval of the agenda is the next item. You received the agenda in the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approval of minutes is the next item. You received that in your packet. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the December 9th meeting minutes.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. All right, the next item is hearings and reviews. Mr. Gleason, would you read the first case, please?
Yes, case number 01-26, Gregory Yazbek at 38680 Venetian, property number 17-12-22-154-002, requesting a 16-foot rear yard setback variance.
Is there someone here to present the case? Would you please go to the podium, give your name and address for the record, please?
Gregory Yazbak, 38680 Venetian, Person Township, 480.
Thank you, Mr. Risbeck. Would you explain your case?
I'm trying to put a room on the back of my house. It's a one-story house on a slab, and I'm trying to get closer to the water than what's allowed. I believe it's 30 feet, and I'm looking for like 15 feet. That's incorrect. There was a 16 that's on there should be 15. I apologize. There's a chimney sticking out there for a foot, so I missed that. It would be 18 feet wide, 12 feet. It'd be like the center of the house, facing the bay. I think it's currently 27 feet.
And I believe in your packet you have reasons.
Yes, I'm trying, my wife is a bit compromised, and I'm looking to make that room as, I guess you'd call it a therapy room, or somebody comes to stay with her, they're not sitting in the main part of the house.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Mr. Yazbek, you've got, it looks like, so would this be, Venetian runs north-south, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes,
Yes. So you're going to build this off the southern, where this bay window is?
yes, to the west of the bay window.
To the west of the bay window,
Between
by the
the-
chimney?
The chimney would be the center, yeah, I have the picture there. The chimney would be the center of it.
Oh, I
there.
see the,
Right there, you have that line.
this line here. Okay. And it looks like he's got 26 feet here. So what about the front, is it, the front of the house here, it looks like you've got quite a bit of an area here. According to the drawings, I see about 50 feet of setback. Is there a reason you chose that particular area?
Yes, because on the front of the house, there's a heat pump. Yeah, there's no place to go out in the front, towards the front.
Your utilities or something?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
what it is, yeah?
After the flood, I had to get rid of the furnace because it flooding my heater ducts. So I put a heat pump. That's on that side of the house there.
In your wife's caretaker, would like...
She does not have a caretaker right now.
Okay.
She's just had 3 open heart surgeries this past summer,
Okay,
and she's slow. We used to go to the park and walk, so I'm trying to get a treadmill and just something set up in there for, if people come to the house, she's only got the living room. It's all one room, the living room and the kitchen.
sure, yep.
So-
This is for, like, physical therapy, rehabilitation, that sort of thing.
You can call it that, yeah, it's, or somebody there.
Temporarily.
I'm sorry?
At least temporarily it will be.
Yes, and if somebody's at the house to stay with her, they don't have to stay in the room with her when I'm at work. I work out of my house part-time and out of Auburn Hills.
Okay,
You're saying there'll, excuse me, you're saying there'll be 14 feet from the edge of the seawall, the canal,
Yes,
to the wall of this addition you're going to make. In other words, this
Correct.
picture that you have here has 14 feet right there, right?
That's about, yeah,
All right.
I think right now it's 27 feet, this is going to be 12 feet plus.
Okay. But there's plenty of room if your neighbor came here to the edge of their seawall, could they look all the way over?
Yeah, that's kind of why I drew that
Okay.
thing there, so there, it's not in their line of view.
And even if they were in their property, they could look
They
straight
could-
down.
I would-
Have you talked to your neighbor about it?
I have a new neighbor, actually.
That house is a new neighbor there?
Yeah, but the neighbor that was there when I applied for this,
Okay.
I'm in no hurry. I mean, it just get it hopefully in the spring.
Any other questions?
None.
All right, Mr. Yazbek, if you'd like to take a seat, you will go to board discussion. Thank you. I don't see any impacts to neighbors.
No, I don't. I don't see any impact to the neighbors' line of sight from their window as he drew it here, nor if they decided to come and enjoy their backyard and wanted to look straight through his backyard, they're pretty much not going to be impeded by that. He's indicated a hardship. The question was asked if he could put this addition to another part of his property, namely the front part where there looks like there's an SUV there, and some people standing in this picture that's been provided. And he's indicated that he had utilities and, was it a water pump or something, sir? A heat pump, right, a heat pump, right.
Those are 2 bedrooms there.
I got you. So that, on that wall, it's 2 bedrooms. I understand. So he's displayed a hardship.
Any other discussion?
I don't have any questions, any more questions.
I'll make a, mo-
Paperwork, I'm sorry, that paperwork says 16 feet for some reason. The submission drawing shows it's actually 14. It's confusing, they call it front and back.
I just want to ask you, you're going to have it coming out from your house is going to be how far? 14 feet? 12 feet, okay.
14 or 15 feet.
I got you. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the petitioner's variance. Petitioner has presented plans. He's taken into consideration his neighbor's line of sight with the pictures that he's provided here. He's only coming out really 12 feet from his house. It's leaving an additional 14 feet between where his proposed wall is to the seawall. It allows his neighbor to walk down to the seawall and still look directly through his backyard. And he's indicated that he has a hardship because the layout of his property here, the layout of this house is kind of an L-shaped house. If we were to have him move it to the front of the house, it would interfere because he has bedrooms there and he also has a heat pump over there. So given that he's displayed a hardship, given that there's been consideration for his neighbor's view, I'm going to go ahead and make the motion to approve the petitioner's variance.
I'll support that.
Mr. Gleason, would you take a
Mr. Leonetti?
Okay,
Yes.
Can I just ask you to say the 15-foot rear yard variance?
15, yeah, the 15-foot rear yard variance.
We can err on the side of caution and say 16.
16? Okay. Just to be safe. Okay.
They give you extra too.
That gives you an extra, you want,
You only want 14, or you want 16?
From the seawall in 14. If you went 16, it would make it a little smaller. It would make it 12,
okay, so you want 14 feet from the seawall
maximum from
Yeah.
the seawall to the.
to the wall of your proposed,
Which would be a 16-foot.
yeah, it would make it 16-foot,
16-foot variance.
Variance,
yeah.
It's a
Oh, from
16-foot.
the, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
From the
from the
30.
30-foot, yes.
Right.
I just want to make sure that we,
Understood.
Yep,
yeah.
fair enough, no, that's a good correction. With that added caveat, then I make that motion again.
Continue support.
Mr. Leonetti?
Yes,
Mr. Brado?
Yes.
Mr. Gleason, no. Ms. Soparka?
Yes.
Ms. Torp?
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Yazbek. Thank you for your consideration. You're welcome. Mr. Gleason, would you read the next case, please?
Yes, case number 02-26, Boattown Liquor, 35550 and 35542 Jefferson Avenue. Property number 17-11-36-229-002, and property 17-11-36-229-034. They are requesting building, a variance on building placement, parking placement, and parking space.
Good evening, Imad Potvos with the CK Construction, 37525 Hacker Drive, Sterling Heights, Michigan. I'm representing the owner, Billy. He was supposed to come, but he was not feeling good, so I advised him not to come, the owner of the Boattown Liquor. So I'm the design professional who prepared the plans, and I believe we presented this twice to the planning, and as many discussions we had with the consultant to bring the site to the code and to the zoning requirements as much as we can. And if you see, we're proposing a really enhanced improvement to the site, to the building, and to the interior, and everything was required by the planning, and with the plan review comments from the consultant, we met them, like the trash enclosure, loading zone, the landscaping. But with the two buildings being existing, and as you know, we are not meeting the rear and the front setbacks, also the parking requirements, because we have short of parking, and that's just because of the nature of the property. It's not vacant, we're just trying to develop an existing property with existing building. But at the end, we're proposing really a very nice development. If you look at the floor plans, elevations, the site. So planning recommended approval, but we know we have to go through these variances. That's part of the zoning ordinance, and that's why I'm here. So for any questions, we'll respond.
I have a question.
Yes.
On the properties, it's two totally separate buildings, one is an addition. Are you combining?
Yes,
both properties?
yes, we already submitted a survey to combine them. Yes,
So one continuous?
100%. Yeah,
Madam Chair?
there was exhibit for combining both properties.
I can give some perspective from the planning commission, too. They did, it's come to us for 2 meetings. The zoning has changed, within the last 5 to 8 years on this property. It's now V1A district, which is why they need the, parking variance, because V1A requires parking to be in the rear. So they would have to physically move the entire building. And
Exactly.
they are complying with the other elements of that V1A district, which is designed to make it look more walkable, more like a village. And the planning commission felt that the value of the improvements to this property will really help us get to those goals of that ordinance.
And it was approved by the road commission from the base. All other departments, they approved it, they recommend approval. But we know as a part of the zoning ordinance, we have to go through the variances. It's part of your ordinance, and that's why we're here. And we appreciate your assistance.
And I would also note, and I think it's in the planner's review letter, or it could be in his letter, there is really no parking designated on site currently as it is.
Exactly.
So I know we have to waive 3 parking spots, but it's a improvement to have actual striped parking on site
Yeah.
versus, I think there's maybe 2 or 3 that are striped.
Kind of nothing.
Yeah.
I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
It was pretty much nothing.
And also, as discussed with the planning commission, once we get approved, there will be, of course, an engineering phase where we're going to do the drainage calculation, determinations of whatever needed to be for the grading, the resurfacing, the water drainage. That will all be considered when we submit for construction documents. Yes,
out of this letter.
correct.
So you're looking for parking in the front,
Yes,
a variance to the front setback,
correct,
building addition, rear setback.
correct. And shortage of parking,
Places.
correct. As you know, the setbacks are, I mean, it's a hardship because the property is existing. We're not created by the owner. We're trying to work the parking spaces, and that's the best we can develop the site the way we show it. I mean, after a lot of plan reviews and discussions with the consultant, that's how we came up with, and they agreed on that. So, but we still have to get the variances.
You're talking about using 11 feet on a 20-foot rear setback?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes. That's where the second building lays in.
gotcha.
And you're not expanding the footprint from the
No,
existing
no,
two buildings?
no.
Right.
Except for
No.
in between the two?
Just lining up both buildings. Will look really big building, nicer store.
So the current rear setback is 11 feet, right?
Yes. It's in an angle, but the nearest point is 11 feet.
Any other questions of the petitioner? Sir, you could take a seat if you'd like.
Sure. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this?
Please go up to the podium.
All right, please.
I'm gonna start.
All right,
I
yes,
got
ma'am.
the biggest mouth.
Okay.
I think our biggest concern,
Ma'am, if you would give us.
oh, I'm so sorry, I know how to do this. Betty Schuler, 26045 Clear Street, Pearson Township. I apologize, I know how to do this. Our biggest concern is, are they looking to, they own the house next to the stores. This company
That's
does.
on the other side.
Yes. And the other side is the
Gas station.
gas station. And in between the gas station, there is a empty parcel of land. I have no idea who that belongs to. But our concern is, are they going to take the front yard of the house and turn it into a parking lot?
Doesn't look like it.
Not what's requested.
Not what's in front of us here, not today.
Okay, that's our concern, because we're concerned about the trash. And the last time they had folks in there, they used that front for a parking lot. We couldn't even get down the street. We couldn't drive down the street. There were so many cars there. And they don't clean up very good. Okay, I mean, we have a small neighborhood, small houses. We're very proud, very proud. And our neighborhood looks good, and it's clean, and it's neat, and folks come in there, and I don't know if they're not told. I'm not even speculating on that. But your history is not very good. No, I'm just saying that, and we want to keep our neighborhood up. We may be on the south end of the township, and we don't have the most expensive houses, but I will guarantee you they're clean and they're neat, and we have flowers, and we don't want a bunch of cars and trash everywhere. And that's what we're afraid of, because that's what's happening right now.
Is it overflow from the party store?
Yes, no, it's their renters.
Oh,
And then when we say to them, man, trash comes on Friday, can I help you? And it's like, no, we weren't told that. Well, I don't care about that, whether they were told or not, but it's pride. We just don't want, I mean, that gentleman down there has a camper, and when they turned that lot into a parking lot, he couldn't get his camper down the street. It just filled up. It was terrible.
I have a question. If you want to come up to the podium, that'd be great. So, I'm looking here, you're talking about this lot here, right, ma'am, where there's
Yes.
cars that come in there? Okay.
They own the house.
I understand,
The
yep.
same owner
No,
owns the
no, I
house.
understand that. But am I looking, there's a masonry wall
Yes,
that
yes,
divides
yes.
that property
Yes.
from the parking lot?
100%.
Okay.
It's been existing.
And that's true, ma'am?
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
To do with the-
We're concerned that our neighborhood's going to go down. We've all been there a long time. I've been there since the trees got grown. We just don't want it. From what the folks that they have in there now, I don't know them and I don't care to know them, but they don't pick their garbage up. They don't pick their garbage cans up. And I'm constantly, as you see, I'm a little handicapped here. Not much, but a little bit. Anyway, I'm out there every day picking their garbage up. And so our concern is if they turn that into a parking lot and people come out of the parking, out of the store, and they drop receipts, I mean, you could go to Kroger's and see what people do. It's a shame, but they do it. We just don't want that.
You're concerned with the single-family dwelling?
Yes.
Turning into a parking lot?
Yes.
The site plan that we have in front of us does not include that property at all.
That's
Yes.
what we came for.
It's folks, here, I'll share this. It's focused on those other two properties that they
Perfect.
own. And that was, the chair's question was, are they gonna go through the process of combining those? Because what we don't want to happen is them not combine those properties and build a building across two properties. So this will all be contained into that site.
With
Correct.
no access through Clear Street into the
Yes.
party store.
Yes.
That's why we're here. We're proud of our neighborhood, we work hard, we try to take care of it, and it's a disaster if they ever turn that into a parking lot. It would be terrible.
It's not happening as far as we can see.
Yeah, the
I-
building that they're
And they
combining
would
is
have
the
to come
opposite
back
side.
for a lot of new variances to turn a single-family dwelling into solely a parking lot.
We will be here if they do. We just don't want that. We're proud neighbors, we're proud of Harrison Township, and we want to keep it that way.
Well, the planning commission's already told them they can't do that, so I think you're okay.
You have just said music to my ears. I like that. These
Thank
other two gentlemen, they want to speak to.
And call the township about any blight issues that you may be having with that other property.
Well, an ordinance on it.
I don't,
I'm sure you do, but keep calling.
keep calling. Keep calling.
Name's George Bro. I live at 26060 Clear Street, 48045. The only complaint I really have is I've had it for probably 18 years. My house is on the back side of the wall that they have. And the L-shaped part off the corner of the building, the wall's been down for 18 years. It's never been. I've been complaining for a long time about this. My mom did before I moved back in there. So, I wonder if they're gonna fix the wall.
What is the material of the walls, sir? Or
Cinder block, it's been down for a while now. 18 years. No, I'm not saying it's fault. I'm just wondering if it's gonna be fixed.
Sir, you can come back up to the podium if you'd like to give.
I understand that. I'm asking who's gonna fix it.
I assure you, they will fix it when they do the construction.
I'm asking them because it's been 18 years I've been complaining about it. I haven't been up here, but I put notices in and called them.
From me, I can promise you, they will, definitely, if they do this whole development, that's not
Yeah, that's-
an issue, the wall, we will fix it.
Sir, we don't have the authority to enforce that with the owner, but this gentleman is telling you that they will.
On the record.
I've heard
On the
that.
record.
Yeah, well, that's why I came here today, because I've been hearing it, and
Sure.
I don't know whoever owned it before. I remember back when it was Little Bay Bakery, and then probably like 10 years after that, the wall came down. And it's never been fixed. My ma complained about it, come down here. It's just never been resolved.
So it's cinder blocks just falling all over the place.
Yeah, but well, the way the wall's set up, where the store is at right now, the Boat Town store, that's one section of a wall and it's split. There's a seam there. And this other half, that whole thing's ready to go over. So the foundation is not good there. But the corner part is all falling over, so anybody can walk back there or into my yard. 'Cause I have a fence.
Pictures.
Yeah, I don't have any pictures.
I will say, I believe that there is a masonry wall going in the front of the property as part of the ordinance requirements. So, I mean, if they're gonna be out there doing that. I know this isn't, we don't have the authority to do this
Right.
But we have
here,
gentlemen on
but
record
they
saying-
are investing a lot of money in trying
Right,
to
no, and I
improve
agree.
this site, so.
I've talked to the owner
Yeah.
before. It seems like he's gonna do a nice job. I just wanna make sure the wall gets. And then the property adjacent to that between the gas station and the Old Bay, Little Bay Bakery. For some reason, whoever was there before, they gave them the okay, they filled that up and put cement there. There's no drainage for all them houses back there to go to the street where it used to go, the catch basin. So those properties back there flood. Mine don't, because I'm higher, but there's 3 properties back there that flood all the time.
Have you made the township aware of that?
I had before, but nobody said anything.
But-
They haven't, I don't know. I mean, the one house, they just tore it down 2 years ago. It was underwater.
As Ms. O'Parka said to the other lady, I would keep calling.
Okay.
I'm aware.
And they will have to comply with, like, if they're putting a
Because we asked
parking
them
lot
not to
in,
put
they
that
have to
pad back
comply
there and
with
they filled it all up.
stormwater standards
Yeah.
provided
I
by
mean,
the
even if they
county.
put some edge drain or something around to do a catch basin.
Did you hear what she said?
No, what'd she say?
They will have to comply with the Macomb County, Public Works Office stormwater standards if they're installing a new parking lot. So they'll have to fix drainage on site.
Yeah, because it's an existing slab that somebody had parked boats on and stuff like that before, so I don't know if they're gonna pull that concrete out and lower it.
Is that even on their property?
Yeah, it's between the two, it's a part, I know it's part of their easement part.
Okay.
Oh, and it does show a new wall on the back there, on that section,
Yeah, that-
so.
oh,
You say 100% is going to be fixed.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
I just
sir,
wanna
did
make
you want to go up to the podium again?
Yes, so we're aware of a lot of things need to be fixed on this property. Surfacing, whatever, even all the building walls, anything need to be fixed. And we're improving all the facade and everything. For sure, we're going to bring everything to code and we'll try to make as much as we can to bring this property to the best. And I know, when we did the survey, I noticed that wall. When we talked to the owner, I said, once we get to the construction point, then we're gonna, 100%, we're gonna fix it, or probably we're gonna erect a new wall if it's required. So we'll make sure that we know it's a requirement by code to have a screen wall between residential and commercial, so we're gonna keep that. We assure you that will happen. Yes, ma'am.
It really does, and the thought of us having to go out and pick garbage up every day is just not fun.
Every day I would call the township, every day I have to.
I talk to Stephanie a lot, she's gonna go, I don't wanna talk to you, Betty, don't call me.
No, she doesn't say that. No, okay, thank you. Sir, did you want to speak?
No, I covered everything I wanted.
Does anyone else wish to speak?
I wanna thank you, this is my third time in all the years I've been here that I've come before this board, and I wanna thank you, you guys are always so pleasant.
Thank you.
Really are. I've seen others where they're not, and I don't want that. This is very nice, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bennett.
Thank you for filling us in, now our worries are gone.
Okay, board discussion.
The planning commission, Ms. Oparka, seems to be in support of this if the variances will come through, or has
Yes.
it already been passed?
Yeah, we did approve the site plan contingent on getting these variances. Normally, it would be in the, opposite order. However, there was a little bit of miscommunication on, I think, the last meeting. They thought they were at at the ZBA stage, so,
Was
but-
it unanimously approved?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many times did they come in front of you?
Twice.
Thank you.
From what I saw, I do definitely believe it will be an improvement to the properties. The little building that's there now appears to be vacant, and nothing's happening about it.
So do we think, as a board, do we think this would be one motion and 4 variances in one motion, or 4 different motions? Probably one motion?
I can make the motion. I drafted it as one motion. But we could do 2 separate, maybe, one being, I could see where it could be 2 separate, one being the front yard parking, which the practical difficulty is being that the zoning ordinance changed. And then a second one for, maybe it is 3, the second one for the setbacks, because they're using the existing footprint and not changing anything on site. And then a third one,
You're making the motion.
I don't know. Benefit of multiple.
Benefit of multiple motion.
I think it could all be done in one now that I
Okay.
think about it and she
Okay.
says it out loud, but
They-
what do you think?
They flow one into the other.
I think you can do it all as one, just state your reasons, which you kind of
Okay.
already did for the
Yeah.
record. You know what I mean? And just say that the 4 that he's petitioned for, based on the reasons that you say.
Okay.
Does that mean you are making a motion?
Yes, I will make a motion that we approve the variances for front yard parking, building setback, rear and front setbacks, and waive 3 required parking spaces, finding that there is a practical difficulty that the zoning ordinance has changed from general commercial to V1. The existing buildings on site are non-conforming, and the petitioner is not changing the footprint. And the waiving of the 3 parking spaces as the parking that is going to be on site is an improvement from what is currently there, which is no parking, striped or formal, I guess, parking on site.
Is there support?
I'll support that.
So, motion by Mr. Parker, supported by Mr. Gleason. Would you take the roll, Mr. Gleason?
Yes, Ms. Oparka?
Yes.
Mr. Gleason, yes. Mr. Brado?
Yes.
Mr. Leonetti?
Yes.
Ms. Torp?
Yes. You're welcome, sir.
Good luck with the project.
Take
You're
care.
welcome. Continue to call the township.
I have nothing else to do. Thank you so much.
Take care now.
You answered our concerns.
Mr. Gleason, would you read the next case?
Yes, case number 14-25, Nicholas McCready, 38077 Seaway, property 17-12-21-352-008, requesting a variance for a 3rd accessory building.
This was tabled from the last meeting. Still need
You want to
your name-
recap it?
Name and address for the record, sir.
Nick McCready, 38077 Seaway Court, Harrison Township. I don't have anything new. Last we talked, you guys said you need to discuss scenes
Not really behind the scenes, just do some.
or
research,
recon.
yeah.
There's, every time we walk our dog, we look. There are so many houses with 2, 3 sheds, plus a boat well, like what we talked about last time.
Let me, if I can, if we can go into discussion unless there's anything you wanted to add.
No, I mean, just everything we talked about last time.
Someone else who
Yep.
might want to speak.
Larry said pretty much everything he said last time. Why don't you come up, Larry?
Larry Paluchek, Vice President Association. I think we got off on a wrong foot. I feel that I got attacked from everybody, people in the audience. I don't have nothing against him. I represent 278 people. There are people that don't want their property with so many buildings on it. He's got neighbors there that have objected, and they've made it known to me. They're afraid to come with any objections because they're afraid of retaliation. So that's all I got to say. There's 278 members here. I don't think it's a good idea. Who's that? Talked to him the other day.
Okay,
That's not what I heard.
Let's kind of see.
let's not have the crosstalk, please.
Yep, yep. So here's my discussion on that, and I'm glad we have a committee here to help. Because I'm going to tell you how I'm weighing this. First of all, I'll start off with my general philosophy, which I think my committee members know, and you should know, and Larry should know. I'm, and I know you don't like this word, Linda, but I'm going to say I'm extremely liberal when it comes to property rights. I will bend over backwards for property owners. I believe in property rights. I want you to be able to use your property as the way you see fit, for aesthetic purposes, for storage purposes, and just for your general use and enjoyment. We pay enough in taxes. It's your property. I want you to be able to do whatever you can on there. So I have that general philosophy going into any of these cases. However, okay, I also have to look at the fact that there is an ordinance. There is an ordinance that I have to abide by. I have to follow the law. But of course, we can deviate. That's why we're a zoning board that allows for variances. So I have that element. So you got one positive. I want you to be able to do what you want to, but I'm also restricted by the law. Now, can I find a variance here? Here's where your negative starts. If you look at the variance, the ordinance, you are required to go through the homeowners association to build either that shed or that gazebo. At least the shed, I think. That didn't happen.
Have you read the covenants?
Yeah, but it didn't happen, right? I understand. You're also required, even like, if you take a look at the last two folks that were here, especially the last one, look at all the work that I know it's one is private and one was commercial, but there's a lot of work that comes into, not even necessarily a lot of work if you're a residential person, but you do have to kind of come before the board before you build. You get what I'm saying here? You kind of put the cart before the horse. Like, in other words, you built the gazebo, you built the shed, but you didn't come for us to ask for a variance until after you built it. That's the way it went down, okay? So that, I got to look at that as a negative. Keep in mind, I want you to be able to do whatever you want. I got rules, but I also got you kind of putting the cart before the horse, all right?
Yeah,
Now, I'm going to
breaking
tell you the
rules, I
last
get
couple
it.
things that are to your benefit. I do agree with you. I live on Seaway. I don't like the fact that I see other people who seem to have 3 covered buildings as well. So I'm not into selective enforcement at all. I don't like that at all. But it's not my job to enforce. It's my job to grant a variance based on the issues. And then finally, I'm going to give you another positive. It doesn't seem to block anybody's view. There was no complaints about any of that. I know you built the storage shed for storing your equipment, keeping your stuff, to keeping it in place looking neat and nice. So I got to give you a positive for that. But the biggest problem I had is the cart came before the horse, and I got to really deal with that. And I have to, that's why we have a discussion here, because I want you to understand how I weigh the variables. Now, it doesn't mean they're all equal. One might be a little bit stronger than the other, but there are some positives and there are some negatives in this case. And, I don't know where I stand on it yet. So that's my take.
So back to that real quick. You read the letter that I supplied last time, the email from my attorney.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in there that says they need to approve the shed or the gazebo. There's building construction, as in the house, or I think it says a covered boat well or whatever. There's nothing about a shed or a gazebo. So, I was on the
Your
board.
covenants for the homeowners. I understand that.
I was a block captain for a few years until they booted me off. And so, I have those covenants burned into my head. There's nothing that says that. I validated it with an attorney.
What about coming in front of this board to get the variance?
You're right, I didn't pull a permit for the shed. The shed, I just assumed, I'm putting a shed there. It's no different than when somebody goes to Home Depot and buys a big plastic shed and puts it there. I don't think people coming from the board for that stuff. So, and
Those
to
are
be honest,
temporary structures.
I really didn't know the three structure rule. And throughout this process, there is some misinformation when you Google this stuff. There's the old ordinance, which, now that I've been through this, I know it's an old ordinance, but if I was just myself a year ago and I Googled, can I have 3 structures in my property in Harrison Township? This old ordinance says gazebo, swimming pools, play structures shall not be subject to the requirement of this section for the accessory buildings. So had I not been through this whole process, and I did try to do a little due diligence on the internet, I would have found this and it would have.
But this variance is for the shed, not the gazebo.
Yeah, but you're correct, because that's what the building department told me to do. But, if I was going off of this, I would have thought the gazebo was fine, and the shed would have been my second structure, and it wouldn't have mattered. So that's kind of where I'm getting at. That's kind of what we talked about last time, but I couldn't remember if it was
Shane,
gazebo
you
or
looked up the
boat well.
ordinance, and it's always been 3 structures.
As far as I could read,
It changed in
which-
21.
I did, yeah, it didn't change in the most recent. So the reason why I wanted to table it is I wanted to make sure that the change occurred before the shed was put in place, which in fact it was, because it was changed. I think it was in late 2020, if I remember. If you said 2021, it could be true there. But the most recent ordinance changes, that nothing in terms of the number of accessory buildings allowed per lot was highlighted in red, which led me to believe that it's been 3 since the last time the ordinance has changed.
So again, if you just Google this is what it brings up. It brings up an adopted draft January 2015, which must have got changed in 21, and you wouldn't find that unless you sifted through the Harrison Township
Last
page.
time you said that you called the building official about the gazebo, and he said you didn't need a permit for the
Correct.
gazebo.
Correct.
But you built both these structures after the ordinance had changed. So I guess my disconnect here is,
I built both structures before talking to anybody.
Yeah.
And then it got reported, and then I went back and forth with the township. They told me the gazebo's fine, the shed is fine, but you have to pull a permit. I applied for the permit, and they were seconds away from granting it until it was pointed out again that it's a third structure and you can have 3 structures. And I have those emails, and that's when they emailed me again and say, hey, we have to add one more thing to this. And they amended it to say you have to go for a variance for the third structure.
Well, I think the fact that you didn't need a permit for one of the items doesn't necessarily mean that you can only have 3. It doesn't make a difference of it still means you can only have 2 of those items in your backyard. Whether or not it requires a permit, I think, is a separate issue, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not arguing that for the gazebo. I'm just trying to add to my case that, again, if I just search this, it would show that the gazebo is excluded from your 2 allowed accessory
Accessory
structures. Previously, obviously that's changed.
Yeah, the problem I have, to your point, the problem that I have with this is if your home is beautiful, you clearly put, you do an excellent job with maintaining your property. Had you not, if that shed is not there, are the items now spread across the backyard, which I'm not saying, in your particular case.
I do have a solution for if this gets denied, and it's not a good solution.
Yeah.
But it's what I did prior to the shed. Prior to the shed, I had a 22-foot enclosed trailer
Yeah.
on the side of my garage, which is fine. And that's where all my stuff was. So my solution was to build the nice shed, get rid of the trailer so nobody has to look at it. I don't have to look at it. Now we're back here. So when this doesn't go the way I want it to go, then I'm going to go back to the original plan, which is just going to cost me a ton of wasted money on that shed and buying a trailer again because I sold it. So, it's like, I'm trying to do the right thing by the neighborhood by having the shed, but the neighborhood doesn't want me to do the right thing.
And the ordinance won't allow you to do it.
Well, this all sounds like it's up for interpretation. The other side of this we talked about last week is township going to go on a witch hunt and go after all the other houses in the neighborhood that have the same stuff I have?
Mr. McCready, if If I remember a month ago, we talked about a practical difficulty, and that
Yeah.
practical difficulty
No
is the
basement.
lack of a basement.
Yes.
Do you have numbers of the neighborhood of how many homes have basements? I know yours does not.
No, I went through the,
About 75% of the homes
Have basements, so you're in the 25%. And when Mr. Gleason was saying, where will all this stuff go? You know, it's a trailer, or if you had a basement, it would
Sure.
your stuff would go in your basement.
yeah.
You know, I believe there might be another solution. If you attach the shed to your home, then it's not an accessory building. You'd have to go through the building department and have to pull permits and comply with ordinances.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I would go for a garage addition, but that would present a whole.
Or a garage addition. Yep.
Or attached gazebo or attached awning. And again, there's obviously expenses related to either one of those.
I'd like to say something. I added a garage before you were there. The reason why I put it at that time, the association wouldn't even allow sheds. So I added a complete garage attached. That goes through all the firewalls and all that. So that is a solution.
Not
I'd
one that's
just like
financially
to
feasible at the moment.
voice my concern for, there are a lot of waterfront properties in our township, and our ordinance currently only allows 2 accessory structures. By granting a third accessory structure, what are we opening up ourselves to? Well, and a lot of homes without basements on this street.
But how is-
However, here on
How is that any
Point
different than
has-
granting somebody a variance on their setback? If one person does it, there's always gonna be more people that do it.
Yeah, they still have to prove the
And
hardship.
in your time, in all your time on the board, how many people have come to you for a third structure? Probably not any, because they either just do it until they get busted, or,
It's a tough one.
The problem that we're faced with is it's a violation of the ordinance.
sure.
And if the HOA decided that they wanted to fight this, they could go to circuit court, and they would probably prevail. So that's what we have to look at, as part of the overall.
Well,
I'm sure it doesn't matter, but the HOA president already assured me they are not gonna do anything legal towards this. I'm sure you probably don't know
Don't we
that,
have a
but
letter from the HOA
We have a letter from
president?
the secretary.
Oh, okay.
It's right there.
Against this variance.
Mhm.
he was in Florida 6 months a year. Again, to reiterate from last time, my hardships are I don't have a basement. I don't want things in my garage that could be a safety issue for my family. Gasoline cans, battery, or scooters with lithium batteries. I don't have any more than that.
When was the gazebo built? What year?
25.
2025. When was the shed built or put in?
22 or 23?
22 or 23? 21 is when the ordinance,
Was it 15, and then again in
15 and
20, or 21?
and in 15, there was still the 3.
It's just
Prohibiting-
gazebos got added to it.
As an accessory
As an
structure. Defined
accessory
And that was
structure.
added in 21 or 22, or 21.
We can't really verify that. I mean, that's
believe
what
it
he's
was
saying, because he Googled it.
Well, I guess it'd be, yeah.
The gazebo, you're here for the shed. But you built the shed first. You built the
Yes.
shed first.
But I don't think that matters, because even if the gazebo was there prior to 2021, the shed was added in 2025.
Right, but at the time, no, the shed was,
Without a
the shed was.
I'm here
Without
for
a
the shed
permit.
because
Right.
whichever
But
way
the-
this
no,
goes,
right, I know.
that's the one that I
That's
would
most
ultimately
important, yeah.
get rid of.
Oh, you'll get rid of it, okay.
I would.
But let me ask you this, maybe I misheard. You built the shed first,
Yes,
and that was built when?
I think 22 or 23.
22. So when you built the shed, that was his second structure.
And it didn't contact the building department or pull a permit or anything for that, which
right.
makes it
I-
a permanent accessory structure.
That's one of the.
And then post 2021, there was the gazebo was
Right.
accessory.
And so in 2022, when he built the shed, he didn't go through the proper way of doing in 25 when he built the gazebo, and I know he was looking on Google and stuff, but if he'd have looked on the Harrison Township site,
Right.
the most current would have said, hey, this gazebo is a third structure. What about the boat well?
What if I would have gone to the township for a permit for the gazebo and they told me the same thing that they already told me, that one's not needed?
It's not about the permit, it's about the.
I
number of
understand
accessory
that,
buildings.
but to the average person, if you tell me I don't need a permit to build a gazebo, I mean, why would I have any
Sounds like-
inkling that?
The township should have told him before building the gazebo to come here and get a variance for a
Right.
third structure.
It's almost like I'm,
Well, but
it's
It's
almost
what
like I'm
I
thinking you
mean, that
withdraw
to me
this
is
and
what
come in
sounds
and
like
do it for the
happened.
gazebo
I
and see
mean,
what happens.
But
And
if
he
there-
said he
You know what I
has a.
But you don't need, there's no
emails.
formal application for a gazebo in the township.
But there is a formal,
Well, back-
if we're considering
Bob, back
it
to
an
what you just said,
accessory structure,
Robert.
and this,
Yeah,
this is
whatever.
gonna be something I bring back. to
What if I do
planning
then, if
We
this
need to
doesn't
button
work,
this
if I
up.
go back and do
If
it
it's
for the
counted
gazebo?
as an accessory structure,
Is
the
there hardship-
township
is there
should
more
have said,
hardship with the gazebo?
you already have two.
Yeah, that's a good
You're
point.
building
It's
a
a good
third
point.
one, you
I
need
get
to
what
get a
you're saying.
variance before you build your.
Especially since the gazebo came after that.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah.
You know
I mean,
what I'm
if you're gonna
saying?
put, anybody who comes to the township should be informed that they're only allowed three accessory,
For
or two accessory structures.
The boat
But the
cover-
township didn't know
He
about
did
the
come to
shed.
the township about the gazebo.
He did, but not the shed.
Mm. And so the township therefore wouldn't have known about the shed.
Oh, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying, there was no record of the shed.
Mhm. Can you attach the shed to the boathouse?
I mean, it's right there.
It is right there.
It'd be very
Yeah. I
tacky
didn't-
looking. I don't know that I would do that for
Um,
my neighbor's sake.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've got a board I'd be prepared to make a motion as much as I understand this is a unique case, I'll say that, but.
So backing up to what Robert and I just said, if this gets denied, can I come back and apply for one for the gazebo? Now, this is just, I'm just talking here. If the shed is technically my second structure, based on timeline, shed was put up earlier,
I don't see how it would make any difference. It'd still be applying for a variance for a third structure. I don't
but
think
it would be for the
matters.
gazebo, it
I
wouldn't
don't
be for
think
the
it matters
shed.
what structure it is.
But you guys are saying we can't prove hardship on the shed, but what if we proved it on the gazebo is what
Well,
I'm getting
then
at?
that would be a different, if you can prove a hardship,
Shed's easier
sure.
to prove hardship
Yeah.
than the gazebo.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I
this
think,
is just-
I think
just
that's why,
sidebar.
I think that's why in some ways, you know, he's, I remember I asked you this question last time. If you had to choose one or the other, but I think you already told me your answer. If you had to choose one or the other,
Gazebo.
no, he said if you had to choose one or the other, he'll just go back to a trailer
Yeah,
and keep the gazebo.
yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just gonna park a 20-foot trailer on the side of my house, so we blocked by the side of my house, and, you know, it's how it was for the first 2 or 3 years I lived
Right.
there, and, you know, if that's what everyone wants to look at, then I tried. Sorry.
No, I get it, I get it.
And, I mean, that's, Melody just brought up a good point. Our variance is the variance for a third accessory building, you know, at the root, that's what we're looking at.
Right.
Allowing 3 accessory buildings.
Not allowing a shed or a gazebo or a boathouse.
All right, so what about a daughter that has allergies to sun and can't be, stretch, I get it, I'm just,
What- The boathouse, that was another thing that we looked at. That's been in there from the inception of the township, right? The boathouse is considered a covered structure. So it was in 15s, it was in 21s.
And I think we had some discussion at the last meeting that there was a point in time where those were no longer, like, if it burned down, they were no longer allowed to be.
no, everyone said that
rebuilt,
was
but
not
now-
true.
Now that.
You can be rebuilt.
Yes.
So that isn't true.
So you would have to,
I went through this when I built the garage. I do have a covered boathouse there too. There was a time, because I had to remove part of that boathouse, put seawall in. If I would have destroyed the roof, it said I couldn't put it back. That's the 1991.
I kind of remember because it was around the same time.
There were, if you had one, it was grandfathered, I think you had some kind of rule.
I'm gonna,
Repair it exceeded 50% of the cost, it had to go. But now that they allow the building, we're getting plans for people to build boathouses now in the neighborhood. But in 1999,
He's right, I remember that, because living over there, it was the same thing. You couldn't, we were always like, you're done, right. We had to do the same thing. Same thing. It's a nice roof, too. I don't know.
My sticking point's the ordinance, and, you know, we don't have other people coming before us. Like, we realize there's other homes that have multiple structures, but they're not here. We have to deal with what's here. And what's here is we have a person that kind of mavericks and things together, and we have to comply with ordinance, and his solution's a trailer. I think you could attach it.
I see a practical
I do.
difficulty here
I understand what you're saying.
in that shed because of your lack of a basement.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say to that is that there is a garage, though. There was no basement, no garage.
And you wouldn't be storing lithium-ion batteries if you're concerned about them blowing
a
up in
basement.
your basement versus your garage.
I guess my other question is, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, rude, but if you deny me, what happens with all the other houses?
Well,
We talked about last time that there'd have to be a witch hunt to go find everybody. How is it fair to deny me when we know there's other illegal?
But we also don't know when those structures were put in. So in other words, if there were a boathouse, a shed, and a gazebo prior to 2015, that was legal. At that point, when those buildings were placed, that was per the ordinance, it was allowed.
And we don't know if they came for a variance. And if the structures are temporary in nature and, and we're also not an enforcing body.
I get that, I understand.
We have to vote on what's in front of us.
I understand that. So, well, you guys said last time you've all been here and you haven't had anybody come for a variance for restructure since you guys have been on the board, so we know that hasn't happened.
But somebody that would have come before us wouldn't have built the structure yet. Think about that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit to the whole Maverick point.
And I get that, but-
If you were gonna build like in 2024, if you were said, hey, I really want a gazebo, you come in front of us, you realize, hey, I've got a boat well, I guess that counts as a structure, and I got the shed, that counts as a structure. I'm gonna ask you guys to allow me to maybe build a gazebo. You would have done it the right way.
Sure, 100%. And
Yeah.
I don't do what you guys do for a living.
No.
I don't build houses, I don't do real estate, I fix cars.
Mm-hmm.
A body shop, that's what I do for a living. My profession really well. I don't know anything about this.
And-
And if you're somebody who doesn't know anything about this, it's not like it's easy stuff to research. There's a lot of language and the ordinance.
It is, but
That
you did,
is-
here's the thing, one thing I will say, so I'm an attorney, okay? And you did contact an attorney to at least challenge some of the stuff that the homeowners association said.
After
I know,
this all happened.
but think about this. I'm just having a discussion. I don't know anything about cars. I drive a Tesla, right? I mean, even there, the motors on that are completely different than a motor on everything. I do drive boats too. Luckily, I have good mechanics, and so that's my point. When I have a problem, I go to a mechanic and say, what do I do here to do this right? And unfortunately, this is where it does get a cloudy. And I totally believe it's your property. You should be able to do exactly what you want on your property. I do, within reason, right? But with those rights, with any rights, the right to have property, the right to use it the way you want to, the right to enjoy it the way you want to, you got to kind of know how those rights work. And that's where you go and seek an attorney. Now, hear me out. Had you got an attorney to say, hey, what do I do here? I'm thinking about building, I want to build a gazebo. I got to go to the township, it would have been a phone call. And the attorney could have said, okay, for a few bucks, let me look into it. And then he would have found that back in 24, 25, you would have come in front of us to ask for that third structure. And it'd be a different circumstance that way, in some ways, than after building the shed and building the gazebo, and then coming to us now and asking us for a variance.
So what you're implying is because I did this backwards, that it's gonna negatively affect me.
It's something I have to weigh. I have to weigh that. I mean, here's the thing, because you've heard everybody, look at this guy here that came in here, paid for this architect to do all this stuff, going in front of the planning commission. He knew his rights.
Yeah.
He knew what he could try to do for his property, and knew his limitations, and he went through the proper procedure. Just like if I was trying to fix my car, a car, what happens if I try to, say I try to fix the muffler by going through the carburetor? Is that even the right way to do it?
Yeah, but if I start, I don't know, if I start doing a home renovation and don't pull a permit, and then I get busted, and then I gotta go pull a permit, the building department's not gonna hold that against me because I didn't follow due process. They're gonna make sure I'm doing everything I need to pull the permit.
Right.
They're gonna give it to me. They're not gonna say, oh, you tried cheating the system.
But say you did something.
Well, you're gonna get a
Say
stop
you
work
did, you
order.
overextended what you were
Fine.
allowed to do in a permit, they would make you take it down.
Yeah, and I understand that.
Right.
If you didn't follow the rules, or if they couldn't see behind the drywall or whatever.
Right.
And
I
this,
think whether we grant this or we don't is, it's not dependent upon whether he did it backwards or not.
Okay, then that's fine.
I think that it needs to be evaluated on its face. And no, that wasn't the way to do it, and they've all agreed to that.
I've learned my lesson.
I get it.
but also does that allow anyone with a third accessory structure who did it without pulling a permit to now come in here and,
Not every circumstance will be
Yeah.
the same. There will be
I'm just
differences.
talking, so,
I
yes,
understand,
yeah.
we're just tossing it around, but there will be perhaps extenuating circumstances in each individual.
Yeah, and I don't know what you guys do, but you handle each case on its own merit, right? So, the next guy that comes to try to do what I did, maybe his shed is very ugly, maybe his gazebo is,
Blocking
the
somebody's
nicest.
view,
You
right, I
can't
get it.
just grant variances on how good it looks. I will
No,
say
but
the shed looks great.
is
but-
but it's aesthetically pleasing to the neighborhood. I get what you guys are telling me, I can't see how it would be right to deny me when we've already all agreed there's tons of other properties that have the same
But that's not what
situation.
we're evaluating.
We
We have an
can't
unhappy
evaluate.
HOA, and we have a structure that hasn't been built with the right circumstances. So that's the biggest problem that we have, is the ordinance is not complying with the ordinance. We have an unhappy HOA, and we do realize there's other buildings, multiple buildings on other properties, but that's not what we're here to discuss
No.
today.
But what I'm up against, and if I, at this point in time, if I took everything down, went to the HOA, which I still will argue that I don't need to, try to get them to approve. Based on things that have happened now, they're never gonna do that. They're gonna hold it over me for as long as certain people are on the board. That's just how it's gonna be at this point. So now you're basically telling me you can't do things the right way, because if you do, it's not gonna work. And as well just move out of that HOA.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
for example, we have an HOA president who has built an outdoor kitchen on her property, unpermitted, probably without any kind of variance. You and I talked about this last time. And I hate to throw her under the bus like that, but
I think.
she's the president. There
the
shouldn't
pro-
be special treatment.
The process in which you go about getting your third accessories does not matter to chairpersons. Chairwoman Torp's point, what the issue at hand is the third accessory
Right.
building. So
We have to prove hardship,
you
right?
have to prove hardship.
We've proved hardship. I don't have a basement. I have a small garage. The HOA guy says there's 25% of the houses don't have basements.
Yeah, I think, again, we've talked at great lengths about this particular case. I'll be ready to make a motion. Board discussion is done.
Any other discussion?
No, I have no discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm mumbling.
Okay. In this particular case, I have to make a motion to decline the case number 14-25 for Mr. McCready, based on the fact that I do believe he's failed to prove a hardship that was not self-created in this case. The spirit of the ordinance itself would be jeopardized in that adding the third accessory building could potentially create additional cases in the future. And the pure fact of the petitioner's case is built around the hardship of not having a basement. However, due to the fact that the petitioner still has a garage, I feel that there's adequate storage capability. So that's the motion.
Is there support?
I'll support that motion.
Yes, Mr. Gleason, yes. Ms. Soparka,
Yes.
Mr. Brado,
Yes.
Mr. Leonetti.
I'm gonna have to say yes. I'll briefly just explain it real quick. It's really what you said today, because of the trailer. If you can make a trailer, then you don't have a hardship, and you can be within the variance. I mean, you know, it's not easy.
Ms. Torp.
No. Very sorry, Mr. McCready.
It's a tough one. It's a real tough one.
All right.
You know,
Hope you like looking at trailers, Bob.
you can, I see your shed. I don't see your gazebo, right? You know, I get it. It's tough. To understand, we're bound by rules. We're bound by rules, and it wasn't an easy case. Of course, you had to live on my street, too.
Thank you, Mr. McCready, even though
Yeah.
you said no.
There's still options. Think about some of the options. I don't know. You know.
Circuit court,
Well, you could do that, of course. You can always do that. And then,
the trailer's cheaper.
yeah, a trailer's much cheaper. I don't know. Can that shed be moved and made? Connected somehow?
Trailer doesn't sound pretty.
No.
Yeah, have a seat till after.
Is there any new business, announcements, public comments? The next meeting is February 10th. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.